This is the newsroom.
This is your newsroom for today, Wednesday, February 18th, 2026. We're broadcasting to you on E1 SKAR TV, NTN, and TARZEE TV in Bartica. In the headlines, Ambassador Theriot says the U.S. is 100% committed to extradition of the Mohameds as the case is further adjourned.
So I want to make it incredibly clear that the U.S. is 100% committed to seeing this through.
Suriname's interest, Trinidad's regret, and more partnerships in focus at Energy Conference. Community officer remanded to prison for murder of Rupununi tour guide. And in sport, national cricketer Richie Looknauth aiming to cement his place as genuine all-rounder, and Nail Technician Weslyn Gonsalves sheds the weight to conquer the stage. With the news, I am Avinash Ramzan. Thanks for joining us. We start off by telling you that the United States government is quote-unquote 100% committed to pursuing the extradition of indicted businessman Nazar Mohammed and his son Ashuddin, U.S. Ambassador to Guyana Nicole Theriot said on Wednesday. The extradition request was formally signed by the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio late last year. The high-profile case has drawn national and international attention and has been adjourned multiple times in the Georgetown Magistrates Court, most recently due to the reported ill health of Nazar Mohammed and procedural issues raised by the defense. Theriot said the matter is incredibly important to the United States and expressed confidence that the judicial process would continue. She added that Washington respects Guyana's legal system and is not seeking to influence proceedings.
Moving our attention more to local issues, the extradition case involving the Mohameds to the United States. It's ongoing for several months, a further delay today. What is really the thought from the U.S. Embassy and the U.S. government on what is transpiring?
I am so very happy that you asked me this question because we haven't spoken about this in a while. So I want to make it incredibly clear that the U.S. is 100% committed to seeing this through. It is incredibly important to us that these proceedings continue and that a decision is ultimately made. Obviously, we hope it will be a certain decision, but there have been a lot of delays, including today. That's understandable, that happens in cases, but let me just tell you, the U.S. government does not spend tens of thousands of U.S. taxpayer dollars to request extradition if we're not serious. We want to see this happen, and we want to see justice served, both for the Guyanese and the U.S. people. So we are very hopeful that the proceedings will continue apace, and we'll get a decision relatively soon.
Yeah, there's a saying, justice delayed, justice denied. How important is it that this happens sooner than later?
I think that we have to be respectful of the Guyanese judicial system, and the ball is in your court, as they say. And so we are content to wait and see what happens. I have every faith that things are going to proceed and the right decision will be made. We're watching from afar. We're not interfering, but we're very interested in the outcome, and we're fully committed to seeing this through.
Meanwhile, the extradition case involving businessman Nazar Mohammed and his son, opposition leader Ashuddin Mohammed, has been pushed back once again, this time after Nazar told the court he's still feeling unwell. Both father and son were present early in court when the matter was called before Magistrate Judy Latchman. However, no new medical report was presented to support Nazar's continued illness. Attorney Sayan Durjan, who appeared on behalf of the Mohameds, told the court he was unable to obtain an updated medical report from Nazar's cardiologist, explaining that the doctor is currently on leave. Durjan said Nazar has not fully recovered, and he asked that the magistrate to consider the earlier medical report that was already submitted to the court. He said the defense was grateful that a new court date, February 26, could be used for the adjournment and apologized to the court for the inconvenience. When Magistrate Latchman questioned Nazar directly about his health, he said he's still experiencing serious symptoms. He told the court he is dealing with tightness in the chest, breathing difficulties, and high blood pressure, though he said the cramps he had been experiencing were now under control. The magistrate asked that he would be able to return to court for the rest of the week, but Nazar responded that he did not believe he could, saying he was still not feeling well. The prosecution raised no objection to the request for an adjournment. As a result, the matter was adjourned to February 26th at 9 hours. Meanwhile, prosecutor Terrence Williams indicated that a state may move to invoke what is called paper committal proceedings, especially if the defendants are unable to attend court regularly. However, Attorney Durjan said the defense is not prepared to proceed in that direction at this stage. Magistrate Latsman also questioned whether paper committals are legally applicable in this matter, pointing out that paper committals generally apply in criminal cases where cross-examination is not required. She raised concerns about whether the process would prevent the defense from properly testing the evidence. Prosecutor Williams argued that cross-examination is not necessary in this case, maintaining that the prosecution believes the matter can proceed without it. Now, the 5th Guyana Energy Conference and Supply Chain Expo continued on Tuesday with a strong focus on how the new oil producers can herald in a new era of energy security in the region. For Suriname, there is much interest in partnering with Guyana, especially in the ancient county of Berbice, where new developments are taking place. For Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana could fuel the much-needed revitalization of that country's downstream sector. The newsroom, Vishani Raghubir reports from the Energy Conference.
Suriname's interest and Trinidad and Tobago's regret. Regional partnerships were a key focus on the second day of this year's Guyana Energy Conference and Supply Chain Expo. 3 countries were primarily leading that charge: Suriname, Trinidad and Tobago, and of course, Guyana, which is one of the world's newest oil hotspots. For Guyana, it is serious about developing its oil and gas industry, and it is serious about partnering with other countries, particularly its neighbors, Suriname and Trinidad and Tobago. We engaged Suriname's Minister of Oil, Gas and the Environment at the sidelines of the conference to hear more about what interest is really there for a partnership between Suriname and Guyana.
Definitely an appetite because we do know that there are gas occurrences in the subsurface, and we want to make very sure that we don't leave opportunities stranded in the subsurface. So we want to find out what is happening on the other side of the border and see if we could commingle opportunities when it comes to subsurface, and see if we can make these commingled opportunities feasible. So from a technical point of view, looking at the subsurface from both sides, it is extremely important for us to make use of that opportunity and install a technical team that looks jointly at these opportunities. And then of course, we're also looking at what will happen with the gas from Guyana coming to shore. How can we benefit as a country from it? Certainly gas is an opportunity for the whole region. And from our side ourselves, we are heavily exploring for gas, and of course that also has to be taken into account. So all of these moving factors need to be looked at.
At a very basic level though, however, is there an interest in partnering with Guyana?
Oh, for sure. So we're now gathering some technical people and mostly technical people. And we hope that within 3 weeks we can then install this joint technical team. I know that Guyana is ready from their side. And so it's a matter of time that we have installed this technical team. And we'll catch that in a MOU that we're also ready to sign, we hope within the same time frame. So the interest is there. On the highest level, the 2 presidents have made that clear. And now it's the both ministers that have to make it work.
For Trinidad and Tobago, the interest is there, but the story is slightly different. For years, that country has been leading in the region in terms of oil and gas development, but that sector has slowed down recently. Now the country is interested in revitalizing its industry, and it hopes that Guyana will be able to help it. There is some regret that that hasn't happened as yet.
Trinidad and Tobago has played a critical role in the Caribbean's energy supply for many decades. It is with a sense of regret that I address you with the belief that over the recent past, we have not been able to conduct business, to integrate our strategies, to work with the government and people of Guyana.
The country believes that it can assist primarily in the downstream sector. For one, it has petrochemical developments from ammonia plants to LNG, projects that can be used by other countries in the region since they aren't functioning at optimal capacity. The energy minister of that country also believes that Guyana can assist with reopening a refinery in that country.
We are also speaking about the restart of the refinery, located more or less 5 to 6 kilometers away from our industrial city of San Fernando to the south. This refinery was closed in 2018. To this day, we have not found the economic reason for closure. There may be other reasons, but they don't appear to be economic in nature. We are indeed encouraged to work with the government of Guyana and other delegates and other entities present at this energy conference to advance the reopening of the refinery in Pointe-à-Pierre, Trinidad and Tobago.
Regional partnerships are important to Guyana. This was made clear by no less a person than the country's president, Dr. Rupununi, when he spoke at the opening ceremony of this year's energy conference. That was reiterated on Wednesday by the country's Natural Resources Minister, Vikram Bharat, who said talks are advancing.
So that is an area that we've already been engaging on with Trinidad and Tobago to look at the possibility of having that refinery restarted, to have investors play a part in that as well too, who are working with us in Guyana, that they too can work in Trinidad at the same time. And we have held several meetings together yesterday, and we have a few more set up today.
The energy conference continues throughout this week, and regional partnerships will continue to be in focus as discussions on everything related to oil and gas development in Guyana and the wider Caribbean unfold. For the newsroom, I'm Rashani Raghaber.
Now, nearly a month after Leon Baird's burnt remains were discovered, Ken Faria, a 49-year-old community relations officer from Culvert City in central Rupununi, Region 9, has been charged with murder. Faria appeared on Wednesday at the Georgetown Magistrates Court before Magistrate Faith Magusti, where he was not required to plea and was remanded to prison. The matter has been adjourned to March 31st, 2026. Baird, a popular tour guide, disappeared on the morning of Friday, January 23rd, after leaving a ranch to search for cattle. The following day, a worker discovered his partially burnt remains inside a torched vehicle in the savannah. Police later confirmed that Baird's body was found in a burnt vehicle near a ranch alongside the eastern bank of the Rupununi River. A post-mortem examination revealed that he died from burns and was alive before the fire started. DNA samples were also taken as part of the identification process. During follow-up searches in the area, law enforcement officers discovered the remains of 2 cattle believed to have been shot, along with a knife and spent shotgun shells. Investigators suspect that Baird may have encountered individuals involved in cattle rustling shortly before his death. When the newsroom returns, we share some tragic news. A man is crushed to death at Cornelia Ida on the west coast of Demerara. Stay tuned. Welcome back. This is the newsroom. A 64-year-old man died after he was crushed by a motor lorry on Tuesday along the Cornelia Ida Public Road, West Coast, Demerara. Police reported that the man, Roy Chanka, was on an electric cycle when the accident occurred. The driver of the truck, a 42-year-old man of Friendship East Bank, Demerara, is in police custody assisting with investigations. Initial reports indicate that the truck was proceeding west along the southern side of the road and was in the process of turning south into the Cornelia Ida access road when the left front wheel of the truck collided with Changa. CCTV footage was viewed and obtained and forms part of the ongoing investigation. A breathalyzer test conducted on the driver of the truck detected no trace of alcohol. And as authorities ramp up enforcement on the country's roadways, the Guyana Police Force said at least 115 motorists have already been taken before the courts after they were found culpable of dangerous driving through the Safe Road Intelligence System, resulting in fines and even license suspensions.
The Safe Road Intelligence System, SRIS, is a modern data-driven traffic management system introduced by the government of Guyana. It utilizes advanced technology to automatically detect, record, and process traffic violations without requiring immediate human intervention. Using footage from this system, the Guyana Police Force has reported that hundreds of dangerous driving cases have been detected and advanced through the judicial process. In fact, to date, police said at least 115 dangerous driving cases captured by traffic cameras have already been processed in the courts, with offenders facing fines and, in some instances, suspension of their driver's license. Additional cases remain at various stages of review and prosecution as the force strengthens its prosecutorial capacity to speed up preparation and hearings. According to a police release, dangerous driving offenses are not ticketable and must be heard before a magistrate. Each case captured by the SRIS cameras is individually reviewed by trained ranks with footage analyzed, compiled, and presented as evidence in court. When drivers are located, officers use electronic tablets to show recorded footage of the alleged infraction as part of the verification and charge process before court appearances. Recently, several motorists appeared before the Georgetown and Sparna Magistrates Court on dangerous driving charges. Kwande Palu was fined $50,000, while Ranger Passad $50,000, Brant Ali $25,000, and Kimion Brantford Williams $40,000. Police reiterated that dangerous driving endangers lives, disrupts traffic order, and increases the likelihood of collisions. The police force has warned that offenses detected through the SRIS system will continue to be pursued through the courts. For the newsroom, Sharda Bacchus.
As the government of Guyana aggressively pushes for more natural gas developments, oil giant ExxonMobil is expected to seek environmental authorization for a second gas-to-energy project soon. This was confirmed by President of ExxonMobil Guyana, Alistair Routledge, on Wednesday at the ongoing Guyana Energy Conference and Supply Chain Expo. The announcement comes after the company studied the offshore gas resources and crafted some development concepts. The Irfan Ali-led administration has said that the ancient country Berbice could undergo rapid transformation with a second gas-to-energy project there.
A signal that we are growing in confidence over that project. We anticipate that in the coming weeks, the next couple of months, we will likely submit a request for authorization, an environmental authorization for the second gas project in the southeast part of the starboard block. So, growing confidence in the resource. As we know, when we're talking about gas, gas is more complicated. We require the full value chain. The ministers talked about it earlier. Trinidad has for decades been in development of that gas value chain, has multiple ways in which they monetize their gas, from LNG export to onshore chemical plants, many ways to develop the gas. It supports local industry. Guyana does not today have an onshore gas market, but as you heard from President Ali yesterday, that is the vision. In addition to gas to energy and the Wales development, our commitment and our energy is going behind developing a Berbice gas-fueled industrial development.
Still to come, the University of Guyana launches its Essequibo campus. Stay tuned. Welcome back. This is the newsroom. The University of Guyana is now offering its civil and mechanical engineering programs on the Essequibo coast, operating out of the Essequibo Technical Institute in Anna Regina. A landmark orientation was hosted on Tuesday for the 20 inaugural students who, having completed their first semester at the Turkine campus in Georgetown, can now continue their studies closer to home in a more cost-effective and convenient way. These efforts have commenced with engineering so as to meet the rapidly growing demand for skills driven by the massive infrastructural expansion taking shape across Guyana. In April last year, President Irfaan Ali announced plans to integrate technical institutes nationwide with the University of Guyana, enabling students to transfer credits in engineering courses and access expanded learning opportunities. This initiative forms part of the university's broader strategy to strengthen its national presence and better response to the needs of a fast-developing society. The University of Guyana has already established classrooms for medical and engineering studies in Regions 2, 3, and 6, with plans on the way to extend similar facilities in Region 10. And Guyanese can now access discounted hotel accommodation at least at 6 hotels, offering a special local rate of $200 per night plus tax with no booking conditions attached, according to the Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce, Suzanne Rodrigues. The minister confirmed during a recent interview that the initiative is already underway and is part of a broader government push to ease travel costs and provide greater relief to citizens, particularly as the country experiencing increased demands for accommodation and transportation. Rodrigues explained that the initiative targets hotels that previously charged significantly higher rates, unlike some promotional hotels packages that require advance payments or minimum night stays. Rodrigues stressed that this local rate comes with no restrictions.
Those hotels that were previously above $200 a night, they are participating. We have 6 hotels that are participating in that. Not all of the hotels that have rooms over $200 a night are participating, but 6 of those who previously had the rates over $200 per night. And that is without any condition. So you don't have to book in advance. You don't have to have a certain amount of rooms that you're booking. You can walk in and get the Guyanese rate. There are other hotels whose rates are below $200, and they too, some of them have. And so people can always ask for that Guyanese rate when they go to the hotels, and they have to. Once that hotel is participating, there are no conditions attached to that.
Now, plans to rehabilitate the East Rhineveld Market in Georgetown are underway following a visit by the Minister of Local Government and Regional Development, Priya Manikchand. Manikchand met with vendors to assess the current conditions on Wednesday. Vendors raised concerns about sanitation, drainage, and the need for overall upgrades to improve the environs of the market.
I was very happy to be able to meet many of the stall owners, some here 40 years, 50 years, very young looking people, so they started early. And I see a lot of potential here for us to help these stall owners as well as customers enjoy a market experience. This market is technically run, not technically, it is a market of the City Council of Georgetown. But as you heard people complain, nothing has been done to make their lives easier or to fix the things that they have been complaining about. Central government will step in where it's necessary to make sure we can actually serve the residents of East Rhineveld. It's not only East Rhineveld, it's a market where people going home on the East Bank could stop here and shop. It's a market where people from Lane Avenue and La Penitence and so on could come in and shop. And so we've heard the vendors, and they had some really good solutions to some of their problems. And of course, that's what we're about, consulting to find out what it is we can do to make it better, to make this an economic hub for the people who sell here, to make life easier for the people who buy here, and to continue the market culture that Guyana holds so dear. This is a whole culture for us, even as it serves people who come here to buy.
When the newsroom returns, the financial weather and bridge report along with sport. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Newsroom. Now for a look at what's happening in sport. We're starting off with some cricket news. Richie Looknauth's introduction to first-class cricket was the stuff of dreams. Entrusted with the ball against Barbados Pride at the National Stadium Providence last season, the off-spinner produced a masterclass in control and flight, finishing with match figures of 9 for 92 from 28.4 overs. It was an entry that suggested a long, uninterrupted tenure in the Guyana Harpy Eagles bowling attack. But as West Indies international assignments concluded and senior players returned to the squad, Looknauth found himself a victim of the numbers game, struggling to retain a spot in a full-strength playing 11. Heading into the new season, Looknauth has identified the missing link in his game, which is batting. While the primary skill remains his off-break, the 2026 season marks a concerted effort to evolve into a genuine all-rounder.
2025 was a memorable season for you, Richie, certainly at the National Stadium Providence. Let's reflect on that, the emotions of that kind of season you had with the ball.
Well, you know, for me, working hard over the years and coming out and getting a man match in the Forest game was really pleasing for me, knowing that I could do it at that level.
Yeah, and how much, I guess, now you would have learned from that, put it away, and now working hard now to probably get to maintain a spot in the playing 11 and do well in 2026.
Well, for me, it's just basically working hard again. I know that you got to work hard and be disciplined to maintain your spots. And I know I'll be working with Gunnar versus Sammy Pumal a lot in the net, so just add some skills and variation to my bowling for this upcoming season.
Tell me about that, Richie. How important is it that as a spinner especially, you always have to keep evolving your game?
Yeah, you know that it's a batsman game right about now and the pitches are good, so you need some added variations, and just basically work on every day. Every day you get your chance, just do what you could do.
If you could just give us a hint at some of the stuff you're working on in the nets?
For me, it's just basically being consistent on one area and varying the pace. Well, he working on me with some sliders and what's not.
Yeah, and just one quick thing. I know you've been doing well with the ball, but with the bat, you're more than what the numbers show. Tell us about how is that aspect of your game you're looking to improve on?
Well, as you said, the numbers ain't showing as yet, but I know that I back myself 100% and working hard in the nets to get some big scores this season and show everybody I could also bat.
Meanwhile, national youth coach Net has called for a shift in the developmental culture of the region's budding cricketers, urging players to prioritize technical. Speaking on the sidelines of the Demerara Cricket Board's Under-19 Inter-Association Tournament, Net emphasized that while match experience is vital, the off-field work such as specific skill drills and physical conditioning is what often separates talented players from professional prospects. He noted that a transition from domestic inter-association cricket to the regional level requires muscle memory and tactical awareness that can only be developed through repetitive, high-quality practice.
Standing beside the towering Net, head coach for Georgetown. Today is day one of the Demerara Cricket Board Inter-Association Under-19 fifth over competition. Obviously, this competition is being held to select the Demerara team who will compete in the Ghana Cricket Board inter-county competition. Coach Ned, not necessarily picking your brain as a Georgetown coach, but as a national youth coach, given that you would have coached the under-17s before. In this kind of tournament, what are some, I guess, keys and things you would want to see youngsters doing?
So definitely if you start with the captain standpoint, you want to have a good look at him, see that he understands the game. Also, that because the game is played more these days, you want to see young players taking care of their health in terms of diet, rest, recovery. Also, you want to see young players working on their craft, specifically if you're a batter, you're a bowler. If you do both, you want to see them spending time working on the craft so they can get better.
How do you balance, as a coach, the influence in terms of the advice you give, and especially speak about a captain, and allowing them to potentially make mistakes and able to learn from them and not coaching too much off the bench?
So you want to have a good rapport with the captain in terms of communicate with him a lot of times, and you do a lot of off the field work, right? You sit down, you have a good chat with him, ask him what he thinks about the game, how he sees it, and let the individual approach comes out from him. Yeah.
And thus far, in terms of a general outlook, in terms of the crop of young players you have us on the 19 level, what do you see?
Oh, we have some bright prospects. I think, like I stated in the beginning, you want to see these young players work on the craft a lot, right? If you look at them, they're built for the game, but you want to see them work on the craft, understand the game, but look up some history on the game and what it takes to transfer you from this under 19 or under 15 or 17 level to play senior, to be a professional, right? So you want them to have a more professional approach, and that could come from people like persons like myself. Just continue advising them, but like I said, you don't want them to be a robot. You want it to have some kind of individuality, which they are, so you can see that the work ethic that they come with.
And how are you helping them to bridge that gap between the under-19 level and obviously moving into senior cricket? Some of them have loads of potential, but at times we see them taper off after under-19 level.
So my thing, what I do at the club level, I'd encourage them to continuously working. I understand that it takes some time to graduate from the under-19 level to the senior level, which is more professional. When you at that level, persons expect you to see your commitment, your fitness level, and also your lifestyle. You want to have a lifestyle conducive to that of a sportsman. So I would continue just to advise, right? Because like I said, you want them to buy in. So I don't want it to be like a command. I want them to buy into what it takes to perform at the top level. So I just like continuously conversing with them.
And just quickly, I know they call you tennis shoal, but when you played good cricket for Guyana, there was anything but tennis shoals came out of your arm from a fast bowling perspective. Let's tell me about how much you're looking to nurture the young fast bowlers and I guess get them more active. There is a call for certainly more fast bowlers in Guyana and the region as a whole.
I'm passionate about fast bowling, so I would regularly I have a tripod like you have here. So when most times they start in the game, you'd see me taping and actually looking at them and advising them and some of the things that they could correct. Your fitness as a fast bowler have to be up there, and you have to be able to be that should have that aggression, right? As a young fast bowler, And I think we have quite a few, but I think there need to be more, especially coming out of Georgetown. I see Borby has been churning out a lot of young fast bowlers, which is great. But it's something that it's just an attitude you have as a fast bowler that you'd want to see in them. And even if they don't, right, you still want to encourage them. These are the things that it will take for you to be a top flight fast bowler, and you advise them and you hope that they come true.
World Cup news now. India's world #1 ranked T20 batter Abhishek Sharma was out for a third consecutive duck at the World Cup, but the host nation maintained their unbeaten tournament record with a 17-run victory over the Netherlands in Ahmedabad. But inspired batting further down the order saw India post an imposing 193 for 6 thanks to Shivam Dube's blistering 66 off 31, which featured 4 fours and 6 sixes. Dube was backed by Tilak Verma with 31, Surya Kumar Yadav with 34 and Hardik Pandya 30. Having been knocked out of the competition after Pakistan's win over Namibia earlier in the day, the chase looked out of the Netherlands' reach from the onset. They eventually made 176 for 7 with the spinner Varun Chakravarti claiming 3 for 14. And Pakistan booked their place in the Super 8 stage of the World Cup with a dominant victory over Namibia. Opener Sahibzada Farhan set up the win with a sparkling 58-ball century before the Pakistan bowlers got to work, bowling out the associate nation for just 97. Victory means that Pakistan joined India in qualifying from Group A and eliminates both United States and the Netherlands. Farhan, 29, has enjoyed a reasonably impressive competition so far, hitting 47 against the Netherlands and 73 against the USA, though he did register a duck against India in Pakistan's last outing. He was well supported by Shadab Khan, who hit 36 off 22 to lift Pakistan to 199 for 3. Namibia never got going with the bat despite Lawrence Steenkamp's 23. Their batters struggled against Pakistan's spinners in particular, as Usman Tariq once again impressed with 4 for 16, including a beautiful googly which bamboozled Ruben Trumpelman. And South Africa fine-tuned their preparations for the Super 8s by cruising to a 6-wicket win against the United Arab Emirates, the UAE, in their final game of the group in Delhi. Set a target of 123 by the UAE, who had already been eliminated. South Africa knocked off the runs with 40 balls to spare in a match where the only thing that came close to threatening a Proteas victory was the weather. With Alishan Sharafu departing 5 runs short of what would have been his second half century of the tournament, the UAE mustered just 20 runs in the final 4 overs to finish on 122 for 6. The covers came on during the innings break as rain delayed South Africa's response, but when they did return, the Proteas were given a fast start by captain Aiden Markram, who struck an 11-ball 28. Ryan Riggleton with 30 and Dewald Brevis 36 then kept the pace as the 2024 finalists reached their target in the 14th over. Now, for years, Weslyn Gonsalves struggled with her inherent physical structure and the compulsive urge to always have a bite. That led to her tipping the scale at a whopping 250 pounds, excess weight that placed her in the category of obese on the body mass index chart. Disenchanted by the person she saw in the mirror, this 31-year-old mother of one of Ice House Road in Timeri battled through the challenges of pregnancy, committed her life to the gym, and now she's about to hit the competitive stage after losing an astonishing 110 pounds. With the unflinching support of her husband Adrian and gym instructor Viresh Sukram of VS Fitness, Weslyn, a nail technician, is all set to compete in the Miss Bikini Wellness category on March 22nd when the Guyana Bodybuilding and Fitness Federation stages Battle of the Rising Stars 2 at the Princess Hotel. Videographer Shakunil Burnett and I journey to Timeri to capture her story, one that is defined by unwavering focus and the strength to overcome adversity in the pursuit of excellence. Enjoy. See you back here tomorrow.
My weight has always been a big issue for me. I come from a family tree with, we're huge. We carry around a lot of extra pounds, and we do have like diabetes and all these things in our families. When I was about, let's say 20, 21, 22, somewhere around there, I was chubby. I never liked the feeling. I said, you know what, I need to do something about this. Like, this is not the kind of life I want to live. This is not how I want to be. I went to a show in Berbice where I went to witness one of my fellow gym members compete. When I was there and I saw the competition and I saw the young ladies go up on stage, and I was like, I think this is something I want to do. Like, I like this thing and I want to try. So I would have had a conversation with my trainer at that time, and I told him that it's something I think I would be interested in. When I made that decision, mentally, when I made that decision and I was to start the training the following week, I found out that I was pregnant. So I cried, of course, because I told myself that I wasn't ready. I'm not ready to be a mom. So I was a little, overwhelmed at first. And then I was like, God, don't make mistakes. I couldn't gym. I wanted to, but I couldn't go to gym. I was, like vomiting and all these things. So I would have spent that entire pregnancy at home in bed, and I would just eat because, I was stressed of the fact that I couldn't get to go to the gym. Like, this is a part of my lifestyle now, and I can't do this. And when I'm stressed, I'm a stress eater. So I'm constantly pushing things in my mouth when I'm, I got my baby, and it took a lot of courage for me to build to get back to going to the gym. I was really embarrassed at the size that I gained, which was 250 pounds. When I went back to the gym, obviously the thought of me competing was never an option, because at 250 pounds, this is almost impossible at this age. I started to lose the weight with my consistency and my discipline. I started to lose the weight, and I was like, okay, well, I'm shedding this fat faster than I thought I would. And, I was like, maybe all isn't lost. Like, we could actually still pull this thing off. So I spoke to my trainer again at that time, told him that, I think I want to try for this competition again. I want to try to compete again. I want to, it's something that I want to do. He was like, okay, well, we could do it. So I got to, I think it was like 168, either 68, 170, and I wasn't losing any more weight after that. So when I made that decision that I want to compete, I knew that I needed help. And that is when I reached out to Mr. British Scrum. And I spoke with him. Well, he would always be on the sidelines, and he would always be messaging me from time to time, encouraging me, I think you would do well if you compete. And, he's always been there trying to motivate me to, we came up with a plan on how we're going to, get through this and whatever. And with his help, I've been able to lose some more weight and actually whip myself into the shape that we need for my first show. So now I'm at the point whereby I'm preparing for that show. I'm preparing for that competition. It is nerve-wracking because it's something completely different, something completely new. The discipline is extremely different. I was not happy with who I had become. I was not happy with that body. I was not happy with that look.
All right, so Weslyn is one of the most determined athletes I've ever worked with. She knows exactly what she wants to do, and which makes it easier on the trainer. Weslyn don't give 100%, she give 110%, right? The diet, which is the most important thing when it comes to bodybuilding and losing weight and anything to do with your health and your body and your physique. The thing about Weslyn is that she does everything you see when it comes to it. Everything you see when it comes to workout. Sometimes she usually be a little rebellious, but she was working. So that's the main thing. She's determined and she knows what she wants.
My advice that I would give to women out there who, think that you can't do it, you're a little bit overweight, you want help, just reach out. You can reach out to the closest gym you have, any trainer that is nearby. You can reach out to a friend who knows somebody and just get up and go. Just start. You don't even have to start with the diet at the beginning. Just find that motivation to get up and get to the gym. And as long as you get up and you get to that gym, everything else falls in place. I can't even believe it's happening. I really can't believe that it's happening, because I told myself at the back of my mind, I was like, you've gained a lot of weight. This is not going to be easy to pull off. But I did that, and we're here. I can't believe it. I can't believe it.